Pork and stuff. You know, what was in the pork and stuff, Stu? That's 18%?
18% was stuff like civilian retirees benefits, veterans benefits, education, scientific and medical research, transportation, and non-security international expenditures.
What was it? Non-what?
Non-security.
Non-security.
International expenditures.
I don't think I'm going to cut that out. Sorry. Pork and stuff goes to 18. Goes from 18 to 12. Yeah, because you guys have pissed me off with all the post office and Edward Kennedy museums.
That's some of it, but that's not. That's the point.
I understand.
That's not a
lot.
But
everything is going to be hurt. Everything is going to be hurt. Pork and stuff. Bye-bye. It's now 12% of the budget, and then defense. This one is so critical. But gee, aren't old people too? Yes. So I'm going to cut it by the same margin. I cut Social Security and Medicare from 21 to 17. I'm cutting defense from 22 to 18. Sorry, gang. Oh, gee, it looks like maybe, I don't know. Maybe Germany's going to have to defend itself for a while. See, here's the problem. Stu is screaming at me during the...
I'm not cutting defense spending. I'm not doing it.
It's defense! Stu.
I understand there's waste there somewhere, but I don't want them with the mentality of, hey, let's cut costs.
Stu.
Yes.
Let me just give you two things. These are the times we are at a point in history where nations will be redefined. Rupert Murdoch. Mm-hmm. The only thing this could possibly be compared to is the collapse of the Soviet Union. George Soros. Mm-hmm. Glenn Beck. We're in big trouble!
And you're going to find yourself in bigger trouble if you start cutting the military.
No. Listen to me. As President Glenn Beck, this is what I say. Gee, I think the former Soviet Union, when it broke down, gosh, I tend to remember a lot of bad things happening there. Remember that? That's what it's going to be like if you people don't get your crap together. So what I do is I say, as the president, look, your departments are getting 21%. I want you people. Now, I'm talking right to the Department of Health and Human Services and everything else. I'm talking to you people. You guys, you need to cut by whatever the percentage is. 4% of the federal budget. So what is that, 18%? You got to cut it by 18%. I'm just making these numbers up. You got to cut it by 18%. Now, listen, here's the thing. You and I are going to have this little talk right now. As the President of the United States, I'm going to come in and say, hey, guys, you guys should come up with 18% of cuts. And then I'm going over to the Pentagon, and I would say, hey, guys, you're going to have to come up with 18% of cuts. And I know that's deep, but I'm on your side. I'm in there pitching for you. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you 45 days. You guys do this, and if there's any leaks out there, or if you're out there saying, hey, I'm going to tell the press what the president is doing and everything else, then all bets are off. Then I'm just going to say to the Congress, cut 18% out of every department. I'm just going to tell them to do it. So here's your choice. You guys, who I believe know your business, know where all the bodies are buried, know exactly, because I've been in business before. I know when sometimes when you ask for, you bid something out or you ask for a budget, you always put a little extra in there. You always do it because you know they're not going to give you all of that. And then what crazy corporate world is, and government's even worse, if you don't spend that amount of money, then you won't get it next year. So I know the games everybody plays. 18%. Going to need that in 45 days. And if not, I'll send Barney Frank to the Pentagon and he'll find it. And I'm going to send Ron Paul to the Department of Homeland Security. And then I'm going to send, Ron Paul's going to be busy. Then I'm going to send him to the Social Security offices as well. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. So you guys find the cuts. And then you tell us how to make the cuts. But if it doesn't start with a 1 and end with an 8, And then they got that little funny squiggly thing, percentage thingy job. Don't come into my office.
But all of this leads to a great point and a great way to make a point. But when things start exploding because you've cut the military budget, it's not a good point anymore. And you get to these...
Stu, I have more faith. Listen to you. Have you bought? Where's the capitalist in you? Where's the entrepreneur in you?
What do you
You're
mean?
telling me that this country cannot figure out. Stu, let me ask you. Mm-hmm. We run a book company, a magazine, a television show, a radio show. What else do we? A stage show. Are you telling me that if push came to shove, if it meant the end of our business or we reinvent ourselves, you couldn't find 18% in this company to cut?
You could, but when it's talking about, you can find, I think you could, I'm with you on all of these things except for military. Here's the thing. I break my rules for military, and the reason being is, we've all talked about this before. What does the government really need to do for us? Common defense. That is the one thing I won't cut corners on. I'm not going to let them, I don't want them in an idea of I work at a 5 and dime store and I need to make sure I cut corners on this. I'm not going to,
here. I have 2 nephews that are currently serving. I have one who I can't tell you what he does, but he can't get a clip for his rifle.
Right.
Do you think that's because we won't spend the money?
I think
it's not because we won't spend the money. It's because the system is broken. I have my nephew who is in harm's way every single day. He can't get a clip. He can't get a clip. Now, you can't tell me that in this country we can't find a way to get a clip. It's because nobody cares. It's because everybody else has got a different priority. You know what? Stop with your frickin' priorities. Stop with your agenda. I've got an American agenda. It's called Save the Country. Save the country. Now, you may disagree. I'm not talking to you, Stu.
Sure.
I'm talking to the average person may disagree. They may not say George Soros, the only thing they can compare to this time is the collapse of the Soviet Union. Rupert Murdoch, this is the time in the period in history where nations will be defined. Glenn Beck, we're in trouble! You may disagree. And that's fine. But for those of us who think we're in trouble, I'm sorry. I'm a dad. I have to treat Congress like children because they're forcing me to treat them like children. So when that happens, nobody's happy. When that happens, well, then I can't help you. So I either become a fascist or I convince the country that you've got to treat these people like children and mean it. You know what? Republicans, get your crap together. Democrats, get your crap together. If you can't work this out, all I want is 18%. All I want is 18%. Defense Department, Department of Homeland Security, health care, Medicare, welfare, post offices. All I want is a dramatic reduction. And if you people are going to be children and you're going to bicker and you're going to guard your own special interests and you're going to do this and do that and, oh, I got a position for this, well, then the country's going to be destroyed. And you know what? Then I guess we're not the patriots that our forefathers said we would be. I guess we're the lazy, arrogant people they hoped we'd never turn into. But I don't believe it. I believe we can treat the sick in this country with respect. I believe that we can take care of our elderly. Some of them are going to have to be taken care of ourselves. Some of them are going to have to work a little longer. I believe we can give someone who is risking their life a clip that works for their gun. They may not have the latest, greatest technology, the latest, greatest helicopter that is also a jet and a transformer and a soda machine, but they can have a clip and food, and they can be safe. And again, Germany, maybe it's time for you to take care of yourself.